Yeah, mate, guys, we're back. This is Lurker101, and we're still playing Democracy 3, trying to create a more perfect Canada. Tough task ahead, but our credit rating's been downgraded because of our deficit, 12 billion. We will reduce that, but the brain drain is now at an end, so reducing the debt it shouldn't be too hard. GDP will go up significantly, like that. The big reason we've got the deficit is, as you can see, the global economy shut itself, which means our GDP shut itself, and our income went down. Nothing to do with me cutting taxes and various other issues. But so far we've got one red dot, the rare earth crisis. Technology is a problem for it. But we've got to be able, we need to find ways to sort this out. I mean, Green Electronics Initiative will reduce it slightly. It's got one more turn to fully kick in. Foreign relations are helping, but at the same time, there's only one way I know of to sort that out, and it's in the economy here. Scroll down, rare earth metal mining, which is A, expensive, and B, very dirty. But we're going to have to do it next quarter. A media backlash. Damn. Newspapers aren't happy again. What a surprise. The loyalty of your ministers can best be described as fanatical. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be exceptional. Bloody hell. And they are happy and effective for the most part. I mean, our welfare minister, Faith Scott, she's got a bit of work to go, but she's very happy, very supportive of us. That's unusual to have a happy cabinet. Unemployment's going down. The income's going up. We've got to get rid of this red dot, but I'm more worried about the deficit. We'll just next quarter and see what happens. Credit rating upgraded. That means we've got a 5 billion surplus. We're not cutting taxes though. As much as I hate to do this, we do need rare earth metal mining, so we're doing that. And we'll not delve too far into it. We'll do some research grants, in fact. Yeah, just research grants. Decent amount of what? Actually, does that actually... It's a nice big step without going too far, so we're doing that. And we'll see what happens there. Hopefully the surplus won't die, which means we can get this crippling debt out of the way. Next quarter. Right, we've still got a small surplus. Surplus is actually growing. That's a good thing. It's a great thing. I wish it wouldn't kick us all the way back to this screen. Right. Urgent policy question that demands your immediate attention. There are calls for a law to expressly set quotas for the employment of ethnic and other minorities by large corporations and government institutions. This is just using racism to fight racism, which is fucking stupid. So we are rejecting the law, especially considering we live in a country that everyone is equal. It's an egalitarian society here. So our setting quotas will be ridiculous. And right, how far does that go? Goes to 15%. That's 80% more. So 15, 35. It's not enough, is it, guys? It's not enough. We're looking 60 against 80. 100 and odd. Nope. 98.5 versus 60 odd. It's not a good balance. We need to find something else that sorts that out. I don't know what will sort it out. I mean, we can't reduce our technology. We just can't. Current and final. So why is it taking 10 steps to fully kick in? We could reduce our technology, but at the same time, why would we want to? Yeah, we'll see what happens soon enough. Next quarter. GDP is well up now, well up. With this scientific discovery. We know all this war. We've been through it before. Still got a surplus. It's a small surplus, but will eat away at the debt. We need to get rid of that debt. I am looking for more income now. I'm looking for a way to squeeze a little more money out. Sales tax is a bad idea. Can't upgrade that. Carbon tax, can't go too heavy with that. Income tax is 40%. Just gonna up it at 45%. I know it's not gonna make people happy, but it will pay towards getting rid of this deficit that I've built up. Oh, we've got an election. Shit, I just raised taxes just before the election. And the opposition is doing very well. Can they get into 7 digits? Can they? Hell is like 1% of the vote for the opposition. 5% non-voters. What changes have we made? Average temperature has gone up. Food price gone up. Tobacco use gone up. That's only bad things allegedly. We did fantastic. The religious didn't bother to turn up, and that's about it. Let's bring this success to the new term, a 3rd term, I think. People smuggling. A large number of people have been caught entering our country, hidden inside cargo containers, then get lost. Deport. I'm sorry, but there's a long, long list of immigrants who've done things the right way to get into our country. We're letting them in. It would be wrong to let you lot in. Budget report. We've got a better surplus now. That will help to chip away at that debt. Once we get that debt down, we can start aiming for greater things. Before we do any of that, next quarter, I wonder if I can get away with being a lame duck president or prime minister. I think it's prime minister they've got. Whaling. Keep the ban in place. Definitely. Whaling could provide a welcome boost to our economy. Not every species of whale is endangered, and commercial whaling can go ahead without danger of causing extinction. Tough. Keep ban in place. The GDP is going down. Damn it. That's directly related to me income tax, isn't it? It's got to be. Scientific discovery went up. Gotta see if I can get away with being lame duck for now. Surplus, still there. Still dropping a little low. I think we've got a problem with tax evasion. I think. Nobel Prize. Sick of those. That's all we get. Crime on the floor. Poverty on the floor. Unemployment fluctuating slightly. The Battenberg Group, and that's it. No real threats on the radar. We are doing fantastically well. Extradite terrorist suspect, possibly. We've done this before, and yeah, it's the exact same one. We're keeping him here, same reason as before. He could be tortured. We're not saying yes to torture. We are not that sort of people. but just not. Be wrong. Next quarter, religious symbols in school. I have no problem with religion, but keepeth thine religion to thyself. Banned. Simple as that. Next quarter. And immediate backlash because of that, they can get lost. Still got a slight surplus, which is, I mean, look at the debt. It's slowly going down, but it is going down. We don't want this massive debt over our heads. And anything else I can cut the money on? Need to trim some fat, I think, but I mean, I suppose I could trim the fat on there, fuel subsidy, but I would. Reverse changes. New car subsidies. It's helping the environment, it's pushing GDP. Foreign investor tax breaks. They're expensive. Micro generation grants. Electric cars initiative. That's still going. Clean energy subsidies. Suppose, but no. Touch the environment. Temperatures will go up again. We'll have a water shortage again. We don't want that. Just do nothing, Lurker. Do nothing. Fracking? Frack off. Simple as that. Don't even need to read it. Polls are optimistic. Been fluctuating slightly. But next quarter, once again, countryside access law. Much of our countryside is still privately owned. With access to walk on the land restricted by the landowners, there's a strong campaign to bring in laws forcing landowners to make their land accessible to ramblers and walkers to enjoy the countryside within certain guidelines. To have a look at this law, private land is private land. This is the very basis of private ownership and capitalism. If the owners wish to restrict access to their land, it's entirely up to them. This is nothing more than a thinly disguised class war attempts by disgruntled socialists or support the law. It's crazy to have so much open and often entirely unused land in private hands, while cities are so overcrowded. This law will allow citizens to enjoy the beauty of our countryside, whilst retaining the final property rights and ownership privileges of the landowner. It's a good compromise. Block the law. Private land is private land is private land. If you own that land, you'd want the right to decide whether people can ramble all over it or not. We'll block the law. We'll leave the decision to the landowners themselves. Right, everything's going steady. Debt is steady. Income steady. Global economy starting to recover. Debt's going down. GDP going up. We're doing well, for the most part. Next quarter. An immigration scandal. A random check of the food packaging industry has found a shocking number of people doing low-paid jobs without work permits. Opponents of immigration are outraged that the government has been unable to control our borders, and the unemployed are angry that foreigners are taking their jobs. The media are running strongly worded editorials about the government's immigration policy. Good for them. Still got a healthy surplus. Still slowly chipping away at that debt. It's going to take a long time to chip away at that debt, but it will be gone. Eventually. We've got a surplus in place. Rare earth crisis is starting to diminish. Egalitarian society still on top. High productivity getting higher and higher. Violent crime doesn't exist. Crime doesn't exist. Health, high. Environment, high. Education, high. Food price, getting higher. Private schools, low. Private healthcare, low. Next turn. Landmine ban. We are banning landmines. I don't even have to read any of that. Just, why would you want landmines? They are indiscriminate killers. The war could be over 5, 7, 8 million years' time if the mine's still there and it's still alive. People who have never even heard of that war could just stumble upon it and it could cost them an arm and a leg. Maybe more. Banned! Surplus getting surpluser. It's a nice, very nice sign. Even though the global economy's going down, we are doing well. Middle income. Don't seem to have much of a middle income. Let's have a look at the wealthy, whose income is pretty flat. The poor, whose income is better than middle and high income. They're happy. It's the important thing, they're happy. Capitalists are happy enough. Popularity, 99.55%. We're not having to do anything. Rare earth crisis still going down. Next. 17 billion surplus. And look at that debt going down. Slowly but surely going down. Royal scandal. Remember, Canada, not Britain. Canada, not Britain. A prominent member of the royal family has unfortunately made a comment that could be considered racist if taken out of context. The comment was overheard by press photographers and is causing a scandal. How will your government react? Nobody expects the government to, if they dare openly criticise the monarch, it would lead to major constitutional difficulties and would be considered deeply unpatriotic. We should issue a statement to the effect that the phrase was taken out of context, was off the record, and clearly does not represent the views of the royal family, or criticise. Anyone would possibly stand by and let this happen without comment. Nobody expects your government to call for the royal family's abolition, but at the very least, a strongly worded statement to the effect that such comments are unhelpful and out of step with the times would be appropriate, regardless of what the royalists and patriots might think. You know what? It's probably Prince Philip again. I'm supporting him. God bless Prince Philip. The Prime Minister has a lot of explaining to do. Ming Campbell, who spelt his name wrong because that's Menzies. Still got a good surplus, and the global economy's getting better now. Now our debt's still going down, still 1.3 trillion though. What will, once we're into billions out of trillions, will be very, very good. Maybe I've had an idea. It's a horrible idea. I don't really want to do it, but we've got to do something. Public tax returns, no. Health tax credits. Boost healthcare without involving the state-run hospitals or employing doctors. But its effect is limited to those people in society earning enough to be paying tax in the first place. It might take the squeeze off our health services. See, I'll put this to 2 billion. Take about 2 turns to take effect. Maybe it'll take the blow off the nationalised stuff. It's worth a try. Apply those changes. Next turn. Religious condemnation. The religious can bagger off. Right, expenditure's going up. Income going up as well. I should have really checked to see how much it's actually costing us. Right, health service is at 12 billion right now. 12.47 billion. I'm actually going to write this down somewhere. 12.47 billion. And schools at 9.69. Got another turn to kick in, see if those numbers go down. I'm curious about this now. Rare earth crisis starting to settle out, I think. Ooh, it's got 3 turns to kick, fully settle out, so we might get away with it. We're going to ignore all that for now. Let's look at the money. It's still 12.7. State schools. The cost's gone up. You know what? The cost has gone up. Anyway, for the most part, we are being a lame duck. Ban livestock imports. One of our neighbouring countries has had a publicly announced case of foot and mouth disease in its cattle. Although the chances of the disease being spread to us is very low, you are being lobbied by farmers groups to ban the import of cattle from that country as a precaution. To reject the ban, there's no statistical or scientific basis for a blanket ban on livestock imports from that country. The outbreak is highly contained and poses little real risk. This will be an unpopular move overseas, which will be seen as blatant protectionism. This will be unfair and unjustified embargo of foreign goods. Or approve the ban, it's just not worth the risk. However slight it may be, of us importing this disease to our country, the only way to deal with it is the mass slaughter of cattle, and our agricultural industry would not survive that. This may be seen as overcautious, but better to be safe than sorry. If this situation was reversed, they would do the same to us. Damn right they would, but there's no scientific basis, there's no statistical basis for a blanket ban. We've got a good Food and Standards Agency, so we'll reject that ban. Surplus of 17 billion still. The global economy seems to be getting better. Our debt seems to be... I mean, look at that, 1.2 trillion in debt now, not 1.3, 1.2. Rare earth crisis has leveled, unfortunately. So let's just do exploratory mines. We've got to get rid of that last red dot. We've got to. There's 3 turns for that to kick in. Right then. Next turn. Credit rating upgraded. We now have a AAA rating. With interest going down, we've got more of an income. Expenditure. State health service, 1.7 once again. State schools, 9.7. It's gone up again. So what am I paying for these surpluses for? Where's these surpluses? Where? Subsidies. Right, private schools. Tax credits. You're not easing the burden off my schools, so you know what? Get lost. It's the only reason I put these in place. Health service. Private healthcare, there it is. Tax credits, they're not taking the burden off. So what? Get lost. Rare earth crisis going up. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be going down. Budget of 22 billion. Surplus 22.45 billion. Deficit's going down drastically now. Well, not drastically. There we are. Rare earth crisis starting to go down again. We've captured a terrorist. some of our brave soldiers fighting abroad have located and captured some terrorists who are planning an attack against us. This is a great day for the security and freedom of our country. Is everyone happy? Everyone. Seriously, everyone. 99.60%. Everyone. Battenberg Group still unhappy. Oh, Human Rights Society. Nothing. Business first. Don't really care. Let's just go into the next one. Still got the surplus, which means the debt is going down. National debt should, by next quarter, be down to 1.1 trillion. Should things go well. And I had a prominent question to answer. But first, rare earth crisis going down again. A new bill has been proposed that will allow corporate entities to be prosecuted for manslaughter when they have been found guilty of negligence resulting in loss of life. Pass that law. If the company's to blame, the company should be held to account. Next quarter. And the debt should have been down to 1.1 trillion. Git. Ah, well, it'll be down next time. Anything else? We're seeing this screen a lot more these days. A lot more quotes. This one from Colin Powell. And slight increase from business first. Question of the quarter. Appoint a senior judge. One of our most senior and respected judges has died, and we now need to make a choice for his replacement amongst the nominated candidates. This individual will sit in our courts for a very long time, so we must make the right decision. Eric Campbell has been a strong supporter of human rights, making many landmark rulings in favor of individual rights and liberties. He is also seen as being strongly pro-consumer and not afraid to challenge large corporations. Angela Goulet is a household name thanks to her many famous rulings concerning violent crimes and her often outspoken views on harsh sentences that she feels should be applied to thieves, muggers, or shoplifters. Let's go for Eric Campbell. Campbell, you're ours. We don't need harsh sentences on thieves, muggers, and shoplifters. We need appropriate. We need reform. We need prisoners reformed, not punished. Next. And of course, there's a media backlash. How could there not be? Maximise GDP, unemployment, average, poverty on the floor, education, health, both on the ceiling. Ooh, what a feeling. GDP is on the ceiling. There we go. Debt going down again. And not long till the next election. Well, I want to get rid of this last red dot before the election. We've got to do it next quarter. Ban same-sex marriage? No, allow it. If you're queer, we're here for you. Still got a surplus. What's the number saying? 1.15 trillion in debt. But the debt's going out the way. The debt is becoming a nice downward linear line. And rare earth crisis is going up again. You bastards. Do I have to push harder? Let's max it out where do it with the maximum selected sites, which is costing us 10 billion a quarter now. Gates. Still good productivity there. Still an egalitarian society. Mostly. Next quarter. Wait, what? Robot rights. You're kidding us, right? Is that going down? It's still going up. I want to get rid of that before the election. It's not going to happen. Right, robot rights. Now that sentient robots are technically possible, it's time to decide into which world they are born. It is unethical to abstain from providing created beings with human-like rights. Critical thinkers ask. What? It's unethical to abstain from providing created beings with human-like rights, critical thinkers ask. If you are truly self-aware and capable of human-level thinking processes, nothing speaks against giving them the same rights as humans, liberals insist. So, to extend human rights to robots, when robots were introduced, we wanted them to offer cheap labour and undertake dangerous tasks. Sentient beings cannot be forced to carry out such duties. A new balance has to be found where humans and robots coexist in peace. Or refuse human rights for robots. As creators, we reserve the right to treat our creations as we please. Robots were created to provide cheap labour and are especially suited for dangerous tasks. If we protect their rights, we undermine the very intentions we had for creating them, and will make life harder for business owners. On the other hand, if we refuse sentient creatures same rights that other humans have, we are literally making them slaves. To ban these rights, to refuse these rights, is to approve slave labour. Extend human rights to robots. Definitely. It would just be another form of slavery. Right, here we go. Next turn. Next quarter. Election. Let's start it. We know which way this is going to go. The question is, how badly will it go for the opposition? Can they get into six figures? There you have. Break that down. Religious didn't turn up as normal. I wasn't expecting that. I expected all the religious people to turn up and vote for the opposition. They don't care at all, do they? Middle earnings have gone down. Tobacco usage of a temperature is going up. There's literally nothing I can do about that now. The year is dictating that, not me. Food price, I could control it, but yeah. Tobacco use. People want to smoke, let them smoke. Middle earnings are... That's tax credits, isn't it? Well, stick them in a public school. No one's forcing you to go private, plus public schools are the shit in this country. They are fantastic. Oil supply, it may be down. Ooh, oil price shock. But we have no demand for oil, so we are immune. Oil price might have gone up, oil supply might have gone down, but we don't care for oil. We are immune to that sort of thing. Oil supply, we are immune to that. Completely immune. Still got a good surplus. GDP, maximum level. Still, with a deficit completely dealt with, a debt of 1.1 trillion, the rare earth crisis nearly solved. Still got one red dot though. One red dot. I wanted to get rid of that. Maybe next time. Thank you all very, very much for watching. This has been it's Canada. This has been Prime Minister Lurker101. Thank you all very much for watching. See you next time.